Okay, so last week we obviously saw over the Anzac weekend the incident surrounding Paul Kent. He's now been charged with Affray, which in under New South Wales criminal code in Australia carries a maximum sentence of 10 years. But it's been a tough two or so years for Paul Kent. It started with the spat on Triple M with Anthony Maroon, where he ultimately quit the radio station. The KO Sports launch in February last year, before the NRL season started, there was another incident. Then the assault allegations against, the domestic violence allegations that went to court against his ex-partner. He was found not guilty of them, but he was suspended from May through till February by the Daily Telegraph, his newspaper, and by Fox League. So he was suspended from hosting NRL 360, and now he's been stood down and suspended again. Can his career recover? Is his career over? He's obviously a very divisive figure. I don't disagree with some of the things he says, but I don't agree with everything he says. I'm a bit on the fence with this, but the charges he currently faces and the video footage that obviously was taken, we don't understand the full picture behind that particular incident, but there's enough footage online of the incident where he ends up cartwheeling into a tree, which is mildly hilarious. At the same time, on a more serious note, there's clearly a lot of alcohol involved. This is an ongoing theme with incidents. There's a lot of reports and circulating about his partying lifestyle at his Lilyfield home in the inner west of Sydney. His neighbours regularly report noise complaints to the authorities. They regularly hear parties carrying on until the really early hours in the morning, most weekends. But can his career recover? It's been a very difficult 2 years for him as a media personality and as a broadcaster. It also creates headaches for the Daily Telegraph, the newspaper, and Fox League, the TV network, for them and management, considering how controversial he is anyway, and these incidents and how high profile they are. He's not the only media personality that's had issues like this, but he's very high profile at a time when rugby league is trying to grow in the North American market with the games going to Vegas. This is at a time when they want as few negative headlines as possible. They want to concentrate on the positives, the growth of the game, and trying to build the international fan base. And Paul Kent is the face of the media side of things. As I say, he's not the only high-profile journalist to have allegations against them or some misdeeds against them on many sports networks. But in a short space of time, there's been a lot of high-profile incidents involving him, and they are really awkward for management to deal with on a PR standpoint. And in regards to violence against women and alcohol related violence on a social standpoint, it puts management in a difficult position. And the charges he's currently facing of Affray, that's a lengthy prison sentence. If that was a player, that's the no fault, no stand down policy. And we've seen players never play again because of allegations about what they do off the field. And some players have been suspended for lengthy periods of time because of their legal issues off the field. So it's a difficult position for his employers to find themselves in, and himself. And as I say, certain players have had allegations against them. Some of them have been proven in a court of law where they've been charged and found guilty of offences and never resumed their careers, or their careers have been seriously sidetracked because of this. And as he is a face of the sport to the wider viewing public, and as they are trying to grow the game in North America with their Vegas games, where he is obviously the face of the talk show NRL 360, is his career done? Can he recover from this? It's an interesting topic. I mean, I did a poll on the channel that's still up on the channel, and over 70% of respondents have said no, he's done. He won't keep his job. So we'll see what happens with his upcoming court date later this month, which is an initial court date pending trial. We'll see what happens there. We'll see if any more information comes out about what actually happened last weekend, before and actually after he ended up cartwheeling into a tree, where the other individual concerned threw him into a tree. It is quite funny to look at, but at the same time it's quite serious. There is clearly an alcohol aspect to this and a partying aspect to this because of the reports coming out from his neighbours about late night parties and noise complaints and constantly phoning authorities about noise complaints. So this is an ongoing issue, and we'll see what happens. But we've seen sports presenters have their careers ruined for a lot less. That didn't involve criminal charges, as I've said before. So we'll see what happens, and we'll see if he can resurrect his career, and if he does return to our TV screens and writing for the Daily Telegraph and being a journalist. We'll see what happens. But he keeps a very low profile on social media, which is interesting considering how a lot of high profile media figures do have a big presence on social media. So that's interesting. But we'll see what happens with his legal issues. I mean, is this career ending? A lot of people thought, the last suspension in his criminal trial was career ending. He was allowed back onto our TV screens. Didn't last very long, but the last 2 years has been a lot of high profile incidents involving Paul Kent. And he's burning a lot of bridges in the journalistic side of things in regards to rugby league and sport, because he covers boxing as well as other sports. He has covered other sports as well. He is starting to burn a lot of bridges, and yes, he's a divisive character. He's an explosive character. He's controversial, but public opinion, I think, has gone against him at this point, and it's going to be very, very difficult for his employers to potentially get him back on our TV screens and writing again. It's going to be interesting to see how they act and what happens pending any court dates and any trials upcoming. So place in the comment section below what you think happens to Paul Kent. Is his career over? And from me for now, thank you very much for watching. Place your thoughts in the comment section below, and I will have some more content for you guys very, very soon.